Greetings. We are anonymous. We do not forget and we never forgive. Operation Trump engaged. You should expect us. America, it's time. We need common sense gun reform and we need it now. Part of that is keeping guns out of the hands of people with mental illness. This is not a GOP talking point. Democrats have tried to pass bills to keep guns out of the hands of people with mental illness before and Republicans have knocked it down every time. Now Trump is trying to confuse this issue. He knows if he screams mental illness, the Democrats won't talk about mental illness and gun reform in a significant way, and unfortunately what he's doing is working because Democrats are being fearful talking about mental illness gun reform, and sadly it's one of the best ways to curb gun violence in America. We also need some really good legislation on gun owner responsibility laws. 80% of the gun violence committed in this country over the past 2 decades was done with somebody using someone else's gun, and in almost all cases they were not supposed to have access to those guns. If you own guns and someone gets access to those guns and commits a mass shooting, you should be charged as an accessory to manslaughter or even murder. The truth is we have so many guns in America. You don't have to buy a gun if you suffer from mental illness. You can just take a gun from someone who's being irresponsible with their guns, and in most cases that's just what people do time and time again. Look, you will never stop violence in America, and gun violence will always be a part of that. But there are some real common sense realistic gun reform ideas that we can do that will curb the gun violence in America in a significant way. Banning assault weapons will not stop most gun violence and mass shootings in America. For one thing, there are no guns in America defined as an assault weapon. This is an internet term that's made up and does not exist in the gun world or gun lobby. When people realize this, it almost always leads people saying we should just ban all semi-automatic guns in America. Never mind the fact that that covers almost all guns sold in America. Once again, this is not a viable solution to curb gun violence. Banning large capacity magazines and bump stocks may limit gun violence in some way, but you will not stop the vast majority of gun violence in America or mass shootings that way. Don't get me wrong here, I'm not opposed to any solutions, I'm just for real solutions. On a personal level, I'm even fine with taking everybody's guns on earth. I say burn them all and humankind will be much better off. But I know that is not common sense gun reform, because it is literally physically impossible to take everyone's guns in America, and it won't ever happen. Nevertheless, right now a lot of people are just playing politics with gun reform, and no matter how much the Republicans say that all Dems just want to take your guns, this just is simply not true, because it's a fact that a lot of Dems own guns also. Time and time again has been proven that gun buyback campaigns do work, but that still won't remove all guns, and irresponsible gun owners will still be out there allowing their guns to be used in gun violence and mass shootings. So even buyback campaigns are not a viable solution to curb gun violence or mass shootings in America. Truth is, no matter what side of the gun reform wall you stand on here, there are things we can agree on that will stop the vast majority of gun violence and mass shootings in America. Legislation on gun owner responsibility and mental illness gun reform should be our top 2 priorities on gun reform in America, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on. Thank you for listening, and always remember, it takes progressive progress to change the world. Be progressive, be that progress, and change will come.